Keep your pants on, privates, because it is time for your debriefing. This is Declassified, and today we are doing Operation Trap Money Benny, and try to provide the intel so you know, Kiki, do you love me? Are you worth all of my global XP? The key, you may not remember a while back, like a year ago, this ship was only able to be gotten out of a random crate drop. It was before I was an official LCC, so I never got to play with it because I sure as heck wasn't going to gamble on crates, especially considering Ouija did say that it would return one day, and that day has come. And Ouija has lent myself and the other CCs the ship, and now that I've spent some time with it, I can tell you how it makes me feel. So what is the key? Well, it's almost an Amagi. It is very similar, but basically it has worse dispersion, worse armor. But the shells hit a little harder. You have better AA, and probably the biggest difference, sea sausages. 3 on each side to be exact, capable of the same astounding distances as the Kleber and Khabarovsk. 6 kilometers base, so I guess you could put a destroyer commander on here and potentially get them to like 7.3 kilometers, if you are insane. My setup, however, is like this. Nothing fancy, straight accuracy build with Kondo thrown on for that ability to sneak around a little bit more and have some concealment range to work with. You may have noticed on that opening salvo that we smashed the broadside Bismarck for just about half of its health, and those long-range shots are where Japanese battleships tend to excel. I did mention that the accuracy on the key is noticeably worse than the Amagi, but it isn't the worst in quotes. You just have to trust me, I'm doing that right now. It's not even close to German dispersion. It is simply, in the games I have played in this ship so far, I find myself thinking, well, the Amagi would have had that. I have managed to find a few carrier games in it as well, and while it isn't the Worcester shooting down planes in mere seconds, it ain't bad, and you could potentially get its AA score well above 100 if you go all in, but that's a bit of a moot point until hopefully, the point never comes that carriers frequently populate the top tiers. Now, the torpedoes, they have a decent alpha strike, but I'm not sure that I completely get why their range was nerfed so much from the PC counterpart, where it has 10 kilometers. Now, you may be thinking, that's not a huge deal, and it's not, but the functionality is significant considering all the other things you have to give up. Like I said, this doesn't have the armor of the Amagi, no turtleback, so you aren't looking to brawl in this, and 6 kilometer torps, that's brawling range. 10 kilometer torps are more of a deterrent. That being said, you are going to get to see me get to use some torps in this match. You probably noticed this is a legendary tier game. We were fortunate that only a Yamato was on the side, with all other legendary tier ships being on the other side of the map. But I feel Key can compete just as well in legendary tier as most other tier 7 battleships, which is to say you can't just rush in and brawl, but it's not like your guns don't work. Also unfortunate in this match, it is your typical high tier game that you see these days with lots of battleships and lots of destroyers and only one cruiser. So, while I go ahead and get a turnaround in this game to re-engage with the Bismarck, let's cut to some clips of Key and matches with cruisers. Now, some of you may want to clutch your pearls because I know the common wisdom out there is that battleships only get overpins, but clearly that's not the case. But maybe that's because that was a Suzuya? How does it do against a mines? We shall see. It's looking pretty good. Okay, that one worked well. What about with the OP Weimar that is impossible to be sunk? That looks pretty good too. Alright, so it can in fact deal with cruisers, but how does the Key deal with destroyers? I mean, it deals about as well as any other battleship would. You turn your ship to head straight towards them. You cross your fingers that they've missed their torps. Now, I do have the concealment mod on here, and that means no RGA of this destroyer at 3 kilometers. Instead, I won't be able to spot them until 2 kilometers. And if you're wondering why the Cleveland behind me isn't taking care of this destroyer instead of me, well, that makes 2 of us. But what do you think the chances are that that destroyer is going to back into those torps? I think it's pretty good, and we get one right there. So, I have a very good idea of where the destroyer is. We're both in each other's guaranteed range now, but why is... Alright, the Cleveland shooting at him. They don't have an angle on it, but you know what? I will do this myself. If you are going to be part of the battleship problem, you have to play your battleship like a cruiser sometimes to be able to do the cruiser's job. I've said that many times. How did they flub that shot? And another question. Why is this Bismarck just hiding back here? They have been back here since I caught them on fire, about 4 minutes ago. And it's not like the Cleveland has been burning them down. They kind of just sat there, kind of like our Loyang, who wished us good luck at the beginning of the map and then got close to the cap and then just said, nah, I gotta go make a sandwich. Either way, this is actually good for me. It's good for me because I am technically on a Kraken hunt right now. My plan is simple. We're going to go torp this Bismarck. This Bismarck is clearly afraid of something. Maybe it's me. And then somehow we just got to figure out how to go get the other 2 ships that will be left. This isn't going to be a Kraken game, obviously, because it is not the big show. But it does end up being a very good game, and it kind of shows off all the aspects of the key. And I wanted to get something out there so you guys could see it. Basically, plan right here. I was hoping to take out maybe one of their guns so that they would use a damage control. And we do. So, now, if they do repair that, then we should be able to get a permanent flood on them if we kind of flub this shot. And initially, I'm thinking about doing the torps on this left side, but I end up thinking, no, that's going to expose your bow. So let's turn to port, wait for them to fire a salvo, maybe knock the guns again, but actually just end up knocking the snot out of them. And then we'll just do some widespread torps, because why not? Let's just make sure that we hit this. I do think they're going to hit me for a pretty decent chunk here. No. Actually, you know what it is? Is that Alaska that's going to hit me for a pretty decent chunk. Because, again, this doesn't have the turtleback armor of the Amagi. Not that I think it would help at this particular range. And, no, they're shooting HE. And, nope, that was definitely AP. Definitely took a Citadel shot there, too. However, at this point, the last destroyer on their side is dead, so it's just this Alaska who has been holding down the shop for a while. So let's get stupid and try to brawl in this. So while we head in to wrap this game up, let me kind of summarize my thoughts on Key and whether or not you should pick it up. Would I spend money to boost my global XP to get this? Definitely not. Is this the first global XP ship I would recommend people buy with their global XP? No to that as well. The real question, of course, is would I recommend players get this before the Gascon? And that is an absolutely. And of course, if you have all other global XP ships, you may as well pick this up. Except there is another update in a week and a half, and boy has it been teased that a lot of stuff is coming. So it may be wise to just hold on to that for a little bit longer. I myself am still a few months away from being able to pick this ship up again once Wargaming takes it back, and I still don't even have the Alabama, but why would I? I've got the Massachusetts. But I think for the general populace, I'd recommend getting the other ships you want first. I don't quite feel like the things you get with this ship are worth everything that you give up. I think I would even recommend people probably think about getting the Monarch before they get this, just because I think it offers something more unique in the sense of gameplay from the Tech Tree ship than this offers from the Amagi. Alright, there, we've said it. Now, let's wrap up this game. I got the double fire on me. I'm gonna go down, but that's okay. We just want to try and torp this Alaska, so let's get our turn in. And do you think they just fixed that gun turret that we broke? I think they did. So if I can get this turned and get a torp salvo out on them, I believe I will be able to flood them out and pick up the 4-pack. So, oh, let's go. Yes, we've got the torp hit. They are flooding. Cue the music. Let's see what happens. Nobody else has them spotted. The flood is still going. Any minute now? Oh. Someone's going for the yoink, but no. I will get it. All right, let's see this scoreboard. 3,371 XP for a very good game, and a GG to our ZF6. Looks like they really held down that other side. And that's going to wrap it up for this one. What do y'all think? Will you be picking it up? Let me know down below. Any questions you have on it as well. I will have it for a few more days. Like this video if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. I'll get back out there for another one soon, and we'll talk then.